back, I woke up to a dream where I saw myself as a speaker creating an impact. The tears that rolled out of my eyes, the palpitations I felt in my heart, and the goosebumps all around my body were so magical, as if I had shifted to a completely different reality, especially when I was at the rock bottom of my life in all aspects possible. Emotional, physical, mental, personal, professional. My life was in total chaos. And in spite of being a healer, having the wisdom and the tools, I did not know how to take the next steps of my life. Surprisingly, having a very strong spiritual backbone, concepts like Aham Brahmasmi, the law of relativity, law of manifestation, law of attraction, these are the concepts were not something that was unknown to me. But I lacked the practical ability to incorporate that in my daily life, in spite of having all the certifications, all the knowledge, all the background I needed, especially when my life was in total chaos. I'm sure we all have come across situations where we reach the rock bottom of our lives, and then we are left with two typical choices. Some people fall into traps like adultery, then having addiction towards food, alcohol, suicidal thoughts, depression, anxiety, and then there are certain people who wanted to become their best version. I wanted, and I chose to become my best version. But what next? The thought was good, but we are a human after all. We have consciousness. So then, again, I got frozen because the memories of people telling me, you are not good enough. You don't have this thing in you. You have lost your spark. Why don't you fit into a relationship? Why you're not able to do that job properly? Was all the things that was going on in my mind when I had all the certifications, all the tools possible I needed at that point of time. I realized those memories, those talks were haunting me and putting me down left, right, center. And I did not know how to wake up. I lacked the ability to wake up. And that day, I decided I have to make a change. And then, something very surprising happened. I studied about the laws of the universe more. And then, I saw the laws of the universe are talking a very different thing, something that I have not come across, something that our society is not talking about. Let's take an example. So, in my experience, I was told not to dream big, to be confined in a role, to be confined in a relationship, think only as much as you can, don't dream big, and whatnot. I was made to shrink and fit in to a particular society, a norm, or whatsoever. But then, when we hear concepts like Aham Brahmasmi spoke to me about, how we can be the creators of our life. That spoke to me about having an expansive energy. That spoke to me about how limitless being we are. And I was so agitated and so confused that on one side, the humans around me are telling me to fit in, while the laws of the universe are telling me to expand. And that day, I decided to become a dedicated student of life. वैसे भी life में कुछ अच्छा नहीं चल रहा था, खोने के लिए कुछ नहीं था. So I decided, why not become a student of life? Another thing that I observed was, everybody, and I was one of them, okay? Everybody around me wanted to showcase that they're best in their field. I wanted to do that as well. Everybody around me wanted to show that, we are worthy, we are capable, we need that acceptance and acknowledgement from the society. And with so much happening in my life, I decided to keep my ego aside, to keep my brilliant mind aside, the so-called mind that I thought I had, and be a fool in my life. I was okay to call myself as a fool and be childlike. And that day, I decided to become a student of life. And following the laws of the universe, exactly after 2 years, I stand strong in front of all you, talking about Aham Brahmasmi in the prestigious platform of TEDx. Hi everyone, I am Priyanka Chatterjee, a mindset and energy coach, here to share my bits of inspiration from my own personal journey through the lens of Aham Brahmasmi. Aham Brahmasmi is a concept that talks about we are the creators of our life. We are the ultimate reality. We are the limitless being. But again, we are a human. We feel, सुनने में अच्छा लगता है, पढ़ने में अच्छा लगता है, but how is it going to impact me in my daily life? And I had the same question. How is it going to impact me in my daily life? I started learning about the laws of the universe further. Now let's talk about the laws of Earth, which talks about two basic principles. One is the law of polarity, which means if there is light, there is going to be darkness. If there is trauma, there is going to be joy. If there is failure, there is going to be success. But what do? We accept all the good things, and we reject all the bad things. We reject all the humiliations, all the negative experiences, all the traumas that shaped us in our lives. And now, if I have to give you an example of Earth, Earth has seasons, right? You have summers, you have autumns, you have rainy, you have winter. Have you ever seen that, the season is frozen or it has become constant? It is not possible. It is not defined by the laws of the nature. So let's talk about the principles all around us. Have you ever seen the sun saying that, I am going to shine, but I'm not going to set in? Or the moon saying, I'm too pretty to be seen for the next 15 days. Or the tree saying that you have cut me left, right, center, and I don't want to take care of you guys and give you oxygen because of all the deforestation that is happening. Or the ocean saying that, I'm not going to give you salt, I'm not going to cleanse your body. They do not, because they are defined by the laws of the universe. And so is our human body, We have the 5 elements in our body, which is the earth element, comprising of our bones, tissues, and muscles. The fire element, comprising of our digestive juices and metabolic rate. The water element, we all know that we are 70% water. The space element, the space between our cells and everything. The air element, which is our prana, our life force energy. So if the earth can have seasons, and we are carrying the Brahman within us, we are bound to have seasons in our life. We are bound to go through struggles. We are bound to go through rejections, humiliations, and whatnot. But what do? We accept only the good and reject the bad. Then how on earth are we living? Because that's the basic rule of the universe of staying in that polarity and balance. Now, spending a decade plus of experience in the corporate world, let me give you my piece of vulnerability to it. Okay, so we all give job interviews. A lot of people over here are students. When we prepare for job interviews, our interviews are very structured. This is the way we are going to impress the interviewer and whatnot. But then there is also one column that talks about our own personal strengths and weaknesses. And I can't tell you how scripted our own strengths and weaknesses are. This is especially for college students. Here are a few. I am such an overgiver. I love to do overtime. I love to do other people's projects because that empowers me. That gives me the push to be the best in the organization. I don't like a lot of work, but then I want to do it for the sake of the organization because I'm dying to be in this organization. So finally, congratulations, you land up to the job. And finally, when you're in that job and in that situation, you fumble. And then you have a problem with it. You say that manager is not good. That job is toxic. This is not working out. Why is that happening? Because when we give a half-hearted reality, we get a half-hearted solution. We have shown a half side of us with all the masks, then universe is going to give back and reflect back the same reality for us. So I would say, are the transformations easy? Of course not. Let's take an example. Have you ever seen a butterfly become a butterfly on day 1? It had to go through the transformation of being a caterpillar to a butterfly. Have you ever seen a diamond? Everybody loves diamonds here. Have you ever seen a diamond becoming a diamond on day 1 without tolerating the pressures of being a coal? And last but not the least, have you ever seen leaders? We heard so many speakers. Have you ever seen leaders, speakers, who have not gone through humiliations, embarrassment, shame, and a lot of negative feelings that they have become today. It's impossible. Because decades of success cannot teach you something that a failure does. And it is very important to know that the more we accept ourselves, the more we are aligned with the concept of Aham Brahmasmi. In the world of a fast-paced environment of AI, let's understand the universe within us. We often tell people, this is a common problem we all deal with, but we reject ourselves. How? You went to a housewarming party and you say, oh wow, what a lovely house. But deep inside, you feel, I wish I had that house. You have those feelings of insecurity. If a girl is looking pretty, you say, oh wow, you're looking so pretty. But then deep inside, you feel that, I wish I could be like her, or why is she pretty? But then, what vulnerability does is, and unfortunately today, vulnerability is often portrayed as a weakness. We all want to show that we are perfect. We are not machines, and we are not perfect. We feel scared, we feel dead, we feel frozen, we feel as if we don't have any emotions at all, and it is all natural. So in the world of AI, where vulnerability is considered as a taboo, I found my strength in being authentic and vulnerable. Yes, I agree that it takes courage to have that inner dialogue, but then that opens you up from a bud to a flower. It takes courage and a lot of efforts to heal the critic within you, to bring out the best in you. But where are these thought forms coming from? We all are focused on introducing ourselves, right? For example, if we have to introduce ourselves, we say that, we are this, we are from this country, we have this kind of a lineage and all that thing. But then what is important is, okay, let's understand this from the example of a baby, okay? When a baby is born, people say, oh wow, the baby has gone on the mother or father or the grandparents. When the child grows up, then people say, oh, the habits have gone on, the parents or the lineage, all the good things. They take all the glorification that is needed to tell the baby that they're coming from, this generation, and these are the genes that is getting carried forward. But then my question to all of you is, if the genes of good habits are transferring from one generation to another, so are their curses, their thoughts, their beliefs, their programming, their conditioning, their oaths, vows, commitments, diseases, everything. So it is about total acceptance, and the more you reject your negative side, the more you reject your, dark side, you cannot reach the state of Aham Brahmasmi. Because that's the law of nature, that's the law of learning. That's the reason we are here on earth, to learn our lessons of life of polarity. And hence, I would like to sum up with the 5 A's to reach the Aham Brahmasmi, which I figured out in my learnings. The first A is the attitude. What is the attitude you have towards a particular problem, person, or situation? It can be good or it can be bad. The second aspect is the awareness. Are you having the awareness to think whether the attitude is a positive attitude or a negative attitude? The third thing is acknowledgement. Acknowledge your things the way it is. How crystal clear waters are, you have to see yourself just the way it is. The fourth is acceptance. Sometimes, when we see the dark reality of ours, that, oh, we have jealousy, we have trust issues, we have betrayal issues, we have a lot of issues, it becomes very difficult to accept us as individuals. So the fourth stage is very important, which is the acceptance. And when you are at the fourth stage, your life starts to change and your life starts to collapse as well. And then, finally, the fifth A comes into being, which is your stage of awakening to Aham Brahmasmi. And that's the beginning of your life. And it can happen the moment you decide to change. You don't have to think about how old you are or your life has gone. Your life is not ready for a recalibration right now. It happens the moment you shift your consciousness and you think that I am done, and now I want to incorporate and integrate the creator within us. Because let me tell you all, Aham Brahmasmi is not something that we can learn. It is something that we have to integrate and embody and live as if we are living that reality. So in the world of AI, let's step into Aham Brahmasmi, the creator within us, by accepting ourselves the way we are. Yes, I agree, we might lose that friendship, that relationship, that job, that social circle, which we faked it. But then, the universe will also align you with the right people, place, and situation for you to step into your power. And last but not the least, the only reason, which I figured out is stopping us from reaching to our truest potential are two things. One is the mindset that you cannot change. And second is the courage to face the unseen. And here, I request you all to release every negative thought of yours and step into the potential of Aham Brahmasmi. Aham Brahmasmi. Thank you.